People in panic are like sheep. When they hear the sheepdog bark, they all follow. If the shooting is on the top floor and your first floor, get out. If you're on the second floor, the shooting is on the first floor or the top floor, try and find the windows, identify where the sound is coming from, break the windows at the corner, jump out. Cover, barricade the door. Take shelves, take tables, everything, hang on the sides of the walls. Don't stand behind the door and the barricade. He should not be able to come in. You're already safe. You take the weapon here. Right? You take the weapon here to engage or withdraw and engage. If you are in the same floor as the active shooter, because bullets travel in a straight line, right? Don't run away from the gun in a straight line. Go from one table to another obstacle to something else. Because he is going to pick the target and he's going to see the easiest one to align and squeeze the trigger. He's not going to bother to try to follow you like a game. He will just pick the one that's easiest and open fire. So if you're on a lower position, you are crawling fast or running fast in a different position, he's not going to bother to shift his sights. He's going to keep his sights to the most stable target he can find and shoot, right? Because very few shooters are going to bring hundreds of ammo to a location. They want to conserve, they want to be effective, quickly get it done, get it off their chest and move on. So you want to be low, you want to be behind a counter, the bullets are coming over, find another direction, get to another room just across. Don't try to follow the crowd and run the longest distance in a straight line. That's not right. A lot of people don't duck down because they think it's embarrassing, right? Once you hear the shooting, depending on the distance of the sound, if it's very loud, your ears are going to ring. Get down. Whether people laugh at you is their own problem. Get down. Then identify what is actually happening. If the shooting is on the top floor and your first floor, get out. If you're on the second floor, the shooting is on the first floor or the top floor, try and find the windows, identify where the sound is coming from, break the windows at the corner with something hard, jump out. If you're on the third floor, shooting is on the first floor or the top floor, all right, you can't go down, you can't go up, then hide. If the shooter is above you, evacuate out, right? If the shooter is below you and you can't jump out from the second floor and your higher floors, then prepare to barricade. If you're on the top floors and the shooter is on the ground floors, try to find the external building fire escapes where he is not on the outside of the building. Like in the shopping centers, exit through the car park, take the car park exits out from the side of the building and out to the ground floor. You should be relatively safe. You have to learn to train your ears to what is the threat. If you're sitting down somewhere and you hear screaming, it's either that has no loud bang. It's not an accident, it's probably a stabbing. If you hear a loud bang, it's either a car accident or a shooter. If you hear multiple bangs, it's a shooter. If you hear one big bang, it's an explosion. Then the next thing is, where is it coming from, what direction? Many people are not even aware where you're walking. All right? A lot of people will walk, and if they want to change their mind, they have to look for directions of where they are in the building. Try to understand your bearings everywhere you go. So when you hear a sound, you know that's coming from that direction, that street. Go opposite direction from that sound. Don't be curious to take your phones to get Instagram likes. Get out of the area. If you're in the area, then take the necessary steps. Immediately get down, use your ears, listen. Are there follow-up sounds? Is the sounds coming closer, getting further away? Are there more? It might be just one terrorist blowing himself up and that's the end of it all. It's casualty time. All right? Or there's shooting from this direction, progressing to another direction. That means the shooters are going down the street away from you. Then go on the opposite side. So main thing is always identify where is the threat, go opposite direction and deal with your fear later. Masking tape, lipstick, anything you can to mark, that kind of thing. If you don't have anything, then it is what it is. Series of quick questions, right? When people are in a panicky state, they are only able to answer yes or no. So it's a very simple question. So guys, I know what to do. Number one, everybody keep quiet, whisper. Number two, anybody here military, police? No? Okay. Anybody here martial arts? Yes or no? No? This is what I need you all to do. This is the situation. Active shooter is coming. They may come to the room. I need all of you to keep quiet. They come in, you are all dead. Two, now, who are the men? bigger size guys, stronger guys, come with me, go behind the door. The rest of you go into that direction, hunker down, hide, keep quiet. All right? If the situation changes, I will let you know. Get the guys to come next to the door, pick up stuff, get ready. Listen, keep quiet and listen. Is the shooter arriving or not? If 10 minutes later nothing happens, there's no sound, right? Tell the guys, stay here. If the door opens, you hear anything, let me know. Do a sign. Don't just shout. Then go to the most panicky person in the room and says, okay, calm down. It's going to be fine, right? Take the phone, turn it on, check the news so that we know. Maybe the news can say that the shooter has been already killed or the shooter is on the 4th floor. We know we're on the 2nd floor. Okay, then we know what to do. Do we bug out, right? Because social media is so active today that they would literally step by step tell you the direction of the shooter. So you get the information coming in, you can also save yourselves. There's no time to argue. When you're in a room with people who have not been trained or understand how to handle a situation like this, identify yourself. Everybody, stay calm. I know what to do. I have been trained. This is what you do. That's it. Be authoritative, straightforward, because they are in a state of panic. And anybody who knows what to do, they will just listen at that point of time. Don't doubt yourself. Tell them immediately, okay, I know what to do. I have been trained. This is an active shooter incident. Now, this is what I need you to do. And start delegation, because you don't have time. The shooter is arriving. You need to get the things done. Get them into their positions. Hunker down and prepare to fight the threat. People in panic are like sheep. When they hear the sheepdog bark, they all follow. Imagine it. Talk about it. Prepare the mind. It's not being paranoia. It's preparing your mind for an option, right? When you are in fear, your mind goes to memories immediately, training as options, right? If you don't imagine, you don't prepare options in your brain, when you are in fear, it's blank. That's why when people get into accidents or they have issues, they just blank out, because they've avoided trying to imagine what would happen and what they would do. So there is no orders available in their memory when it's in fear to fall back on to find out what to do. So you have to talk about it with the family. Imagine, what would you do? Talk about options. What would I do? Every single option that you have builds something in your brain to fall back on when you're in a state of panic. All right, so strength in numbers. When you're in a secured room, cover, barricade the door. Take shelves, take tables, everything. Hang on the sides of the walls. Don't stand behind the door and the barricade. He should not be able to come in. You're already safe. 1. 2. If you don't have time to barricade, one person behind the door, one person over here, everybody else is taking every small thing that you can find to keep on throwing. When the door opens, everybody's not in the line of fire or at the side. Everybody just start throwing and getting out of the way. A few shots will come in. If you are not in the zone, you will not get hit. And immediately that one there slams the door as much as possible. Then he will realize it's a fighting room. Right? Then he will not come in. Unless you are the only room with the only population and no other targets, and he has no choice but to come and kill all of you to do the job, then
fight to the death.
Yeah, who asked you to have a small meeting? So you cannot hide inside the room, because when the shooter comes in, and then she can shoot everybody, right? So you go behind, the door is closed, the shooter enters, you take the weapon here, right? You take the weapon here to engage or withdraw and engage.
One question. So if I'm holding it like this and then you do this, if you're holding the slide, then does it mean you cannot shoot?
Okay, say you hold the weapon. If I turn this, you're going to shoot yourself.
Kill.
One round in the chamber, it will still fire, but it will not cycle the next round.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Now, if you change hand, use the other hand and you come in. Okay, now you come in. When you see the muzzle like this, right? No shooter is going to be so tactical to immediately here, because another person from there can engage. Right? They'll normally follow the entry of the weapon. Right? So if the weapon comes here, the minute you see the muzzle enter with the weapon, You see the muzzle with the weapon coming here, you can already engage. Right? The idea is when you see the muzzle, you don't want to grab the muzzle. You're going to get shot. You want to there or there. But never put your hand onto the muzzle. Grab to the side or on top. Prepare for every kind of scenario, including them shooting through the door first. So when the door is closed, you are not here. You are never here. Right? You are here. So the bullets will go through. Bang, 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 bang. You tell people in the room, don't stand there. Right? They stand that side, they stand this side, they take everything ready to throw. Right? So if the door opens, whoever is on that side can start taking anything, start throwing through the hole. Right? You can see from here what's happening. How is the shooter reacting to the things being thrown? Right? And you can also do this. And they can't come in again. Right? So one person here will be able to see what's happening from this hole when the door opens. And your job is to close the door if they don't come in. But the first step is when you're behind any room, take furniture and cover the door first. So you never have to get to this part. But if you never cover the furniture for any reason, like some of the shelves are really too heavy and only one person or two people cannot carry, then you must have one person here to shut the door with the foot. Don't go and do this, your hand will get shot, the foot. Another person there go and take whatever small things ready to engage, throw. So that the shooter will understand that firstly, it's not so easy to get through the door, there are people going to fight back. So chances are he will just in anger shoot through the door a few more times and then he'll go and find another victim. The main thing is most people will do this, they try to hide inside here, hide over there, but nobody's near the door because they're too scared. That's when the shooter just comes in and then he comes in and starts shooting people and he walks out. Nobody does anything, I'm hiding over here, right? Scared here. You just come in and I'm just dead. You must find a choke point which is here. It's the same thing you holding. Okay. You doggy, you go there now. Your job is just to close the door. Okay? She opened the door.
But I can just shoot right away, right?
Yeah. You don't stand out here basketball throw, huh? You get shot. You just take, you throw, you duck. They are distracted. He slams the door. Then the shooter will be tok jai behind to wonder how many more are inside. Then, they want easy victim. They don't want to have problems to be slowed down. So they realize this door, okay, got people inside. I don't know whether 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you know what? I just shoot the door. Anger, and then I go and find other targets. So you don't stand behind the door. You show them that you are fighting back. That's the basic rule, right? So you never have to engage the weapon front on. This is not going to happen in an active shooter. This only happens in robbery, right? So in active shooter, you're not going to encounter this. They are out to kill as many as possible. So don't bother to learn all this in active shooter. You have to learn how to engage or scare the shooter away. That's the main thing. If I'm in a room like this, right, I will take either a metal can or my baseball hand, or I'm going to throw a hammer through the door, right? Anything heavy that does the trick, right? I'm not going to throw like this packet like that. I'm going to take something heavy. Even a water bottle is still going to, have enough impact to scare the person to step back slightly, which allows your friend to slam the door. That's the first thing. Just the best is always when you're in a room, don't go to a toilet. Go into any space, storeroom, whatever the space is, barricade the door and don't hang around. Simple as that. Keep quiet, hide down, that's it. If he attempts to break in, then you have to activate how to fight. Too many people try to stand behind the barricade to push the barricade. They get shot through the door and they're dead. Well, if you have information and it's useful, bother them. If you have nothing and you just hear screaming, don't try to stop them in the middle of their duty because they're trying to respond to the threat. If you're useful and you have information like you've seen the shooter and it will help them identify the shooter faster, then quickly stop them and say, I have information, this is what the shooter I think looks like, and that's it. All right, they will probably ask another spare policeman to stay with you to quickly take the record. The rest of them will move in that direction to respond. But don't just stop them in the tracks. They don't have time to, cuddle panicky people. If you're in a restaurant, right, or any cafe, firstly is don't be convenient to sit on the outside at the road. Okay? If you have a terror attack or a car out of control, you're the first to get killed. If you're in the back of the restaurant, anything happens in the front, it happens to everybody in the front first. You get out through the kitchen, right? If it's a car accident, they're all going to get whacked in the front. But if you're in the back and the terrorist attack comes, you have knives in the kitchen you can take for self-defense, or you can exit from the service entry in the kitchen, the staff exit. Right? Don't try to hunker down. Always try to depart the location as much as possible. Do not add to the hostages if they're looking for hostages. Don't add the numbers. When you go shopping, right, find your fire escapes, car park exits all the time, right? So that if the shooting happens below, that you just bypass a car park exit, get out to the car park, get to the extremities of the car park where always the staircases are, and get out of the building that way. Right? You have cars all in the way. He's not going to go into the car park to look for people. When he has crowds of people inside the building that he can shoot, he's not going to leave the building into the car park to look specifically for you. So get out on whatever floor to the car parks, go and find the further staircases from the entrance into the shopping mall and get out of the building from there. One way in, one way out. Toilet doors are very thin, they're not going to stop bullets. You can technically open the door and just shoot through all the stalls and everybody's dead. Well, understand it's a 4-part series, right? One, what is your building that you're working in? What type of security do you have existing? What is the mental level of your staff and capabilities? And 4, what are you willing to spend to have a prevention rather than an insurance claim that most insurance doesn't have active shooter claim? If you don't train, you don't prepare, then are you willing to go bankrupt after the lawsuits?
And in here you talk about how to assemble crisis kits, which have radio, floor plans, staff roster, emergency contact number, first aid kits, and flashlights.
Well, again, it depends on the level of preparedness the companies want. You can go basic, intermediate, advanced. That is also directly related to whether your activities in the company are target, right? An embassy is going to have a higher level of security. A goldsmith is going to have a high level of security. An accounting office, unless you piss off a client, is going to have a low level of threat. So it depends on what business you're in and who is going to target you, if ever. At the minimum level, you prepare for looters, or if you happen to be in an active shooter zone. So it really depends, and that's after discussion. So if you are in an office with glass doors, that is not a sealed room. Should not be the first choice. If you don't have a choice, then you have to push furniture against the glass, gather a few things to throw, lie down on the floor behind your tables. As the shooter is trying to break his way through the glass door, you will throw as much things in his direction as possible, but keeping down. The best is always when he's like halfway through the glass door, right? Because glass is sharp, and he's trying to avoid the things that's flying at him. He's going to get cut by the glass. You have to just stay down behind your tables, holding, heavy objects, whatever. When you hear him smash the glass, trying to climb over the barricade that you have in front of the glass, start throwing stuff at him, right? Because when you're climbing over a barricade, your chances are your gun is not pointed, it's using to support as you climb over. So that's when you can start to attack him. If you see the weapon is not a threat, rush towards him and secure him.